Mr. Beast just said something that's starting to change how people see him. He claimed that no creator on Earth has worked harder than him.
Wants to live the life I live or be in my head, they would be miserable.
At first, it sounds like confidence, but the more you think about it, the more it feels different. Because this isn't just a statement. It might be the moment where admiration starts turning into criticism. Now, this isn't just some random creator making a bold claim. We're talking about Mr. Beast, the biggest YouTuber on the planet. The guy who turned giveaways into a global spectacle, who built an empire by studying the algorithm obsessively, reinvesting everything, and pushing content to extremes most creators wouldn't even attempt. For years, people didn't just watch him, they respected him, because his success felt earned, calculated, relentless. But that's exactly why this moment feels different. When someone at that level says something like this, it doesn't land the same way. It stops sounding like motivation and starts raising questions. Because now the audience isn't just watching what he does, they're listening to what he believes. And sometimes that changes everything. To understand why this moment feels different, you have to understand how Mr. Beast got here. This wasn't luck. This was obsession. For years, while most creators were chasing trends, he was studying them, breaking them down, rebuilding them, testing what people click, what they watch, what makes them stay. Uploading again and again, even when no one was watching. Reinvesting everything he made back into bigger, riskier ideas. And eventually, it worked. He didn't just grow on YouTube, he rewrote how YouTube works. At that level, it's easy to see why he believes what he said. Because from his perspective, no one pushed it this far. No one treated it like a system the way he did. But here's where it starts to shift. Because that same mindset, the one that built everything, can also change how you see everyone else. And when that happens, confidence doesn't always come across the same way. Sometimes it starts to feel like something else.
And here's the moment everything started to shift. Mr. Beast said it directly, that no creator on Earth has worked harder than him. Not one of the hardest, not in his opinion, no one. And instantly, the internet split. Some people agreed. They pointed to the years of grinding, the endless reinvestment, the obsession with perfection. But others heard something completely different. Because when you say something like that, it doesn't just highlight your work, it quietly dismisses everyone else. Creators like Docubot built their influence through risk and reinvention. Znow exploded through raw energy and unpredictability. Different paths, same level of impact. And this isn't new. We've seen this before. Big creators reach a level where their confidence turns absolute, where their perspective becomes the only one that makes sense to them. And that's where the problem begins. Because what sounds like truth to them starts sounding very different to everyone else.
And this is where the divide really begins. On one side, you have people saying, he's not wrong. That level of success doesn't happen without extreme sacrifice, years of consistency, risk, and pressure that most creators never even experience. From that perspective, his statement isn't arrogance, it's just reality. But on the other side, people see it very differently. Because hard work on YouTube doesn't look the same for everyone. Some creators build through personality, some through storytelling, some through pure connection with their audience. So when you say no one worked harder, it doesn't just sound like confidence, it sounds like you're ignoring every other path to success. And that's why this moment feels bigger than just one sentence. It's not about what he said, it's about how people are starting to interpret it. But what if everyone is looking at this the wrong way? What if this isn't really about arrogance at all? Because when you zoom out, something else starts to become clear. Mr. Beast doesn't see YouTube the way most creators do. To him, it's not just creativity, it's a system. Every title, every thumbnail, every second of retention, measured, tested, optimized. And when you operate like that for years at the highest level, your definition of hard work changes. It stops being about effort you can see and becomes about control, precision, and scale. So when he says no one has worked harder, he might not be comparing himself to other creators' journeys. He might be comparing systems. And that's where the disconnect happens. Because the audience doesn't see systems, they see people. And when those two perspectives collide, the same statement can feel completely different, not because it changed, but because the way we understand it did.
And that's when you start to see the bigger picture. This isn't just about one statement. It's about how YouTube itself is changing. Because creators at the top today aren't just entertainers anymore. They're operators. They think in terms of data, systems, scale. What works, what holds attention, what spreads. And Mr. Beast is the clearest example of that shift. He didn't just adapt to the platform, he helped redefine it. But here's the trade-off. The more optimized content becomes, the less personal it can feel. The more it turns into something engineered rather than something human. And audiences can sense that, maybe not consciously, but enough to react when something feels slightly off. So this moment isn't just about whether he's right or wrong. It's about a growing gap between how creators see their work and how audiences experience it.